All right, everyone, welcome to the weekend market report with myself, Michael Nauss from Stats Edge Trading. I am now doing these when the market is open because it's summer and I want to leave at 5 when the market closes for me. So, if there's anything dramatic that happens at the end of the market, or if you want access to my algorithmically designed watch list of individual names that I'm going to watch going into next week, make sure you go to statsedgetrading.com, sign up for the email list. That is going to be for free on the email list until I finish the product that's going to have all of these algorithms and the stocks that they're looking at from week to week. Now, without further ado, we're going to pop into it. We're going to get started, as always, with Bitcoin. It just tradition at this point. We have to start with Bitcoin. We're looking at the weekly chart here. Again, nice bottoming tail on the weekly chart. Nice bounce we had. That's actually today's action. Yesterday and today we had a nice little bounce up here into some prior resistance right here. But on the weekly chart, we still have a little bit of overhead resistance and a little bit of a mess going on here on the weekly chart. So again, for me, I was looking for a clear break of this to look short or a clear break of this to look long. We're still within that range, so not a lot to do there. Ethereum, same exact thing, but relatively weak to Bitcoin because it couldn't even get up to these highs. Then you look at something like Doge or any of the meme coins. They had a little flash in the pad, but they're selling off as well. So Doge is kind of interesting because it's still completing this rounded potential bottom. And this high is 59 cents out to 77 cents. So again, it's definitely could get going here, but just not seeing that right now. Let's go over to the dollar index. I actually need to make sure I have my list here. Starting with Dixie, DXY. So this is the dollar versus a whole bunch of other things. You can see we rejected this high that I had drawn out here, which just represents this high right here. We rejected that this week, continuing to be range bound, but a nice little pullback here as well. This will be bullish for stocks overall if we see pullbacks in the dollar index. So we definitely like to see that. If we go to Euro USD, it's going to look the opposite of that because it's mostly Euro USD. Right, bouncing off this anchored VWAP from this low right here that I was looking at. Now 3 weeks up in a row, kind of weak looking bounce, but a nice bounce there in the euro. Have to talk about the yen because the yen was just going absolutely insane. Massive rally up here and then got completely rejected from that as the Bank of Japan steps in and says, guys, we're sick of you bullying our currency. So this is pulling back based off of that. If we fail under this zone right here, there could be a whole lot of shorts that are caught out on this. The yen, if you flip this, right, the yen, everybody is short the yen, so long this currency right now in a very aggressive manner, and that has flipped. So the question is, how long will it take for that position to unwind? So I'm going to be watching that. Also, USD CHF highlighted this area. We bled through it and then we rejected it. Same kind of thing. A lot of people are short the franc. So long the franc, short this currency right here. So I'm looking to take maybe the other side of that guy. Last but not least from the currency standpoint is gold. And gold continues to be range bound here. To me, this is going to be a nice pullback until something changes my mind. If we drag that anchored VWAP over here, you can see it came right down to the anchored VWAP from the breakout candle. Seems to be holding that fairly well. So we shall see with that. Now let's get into stocks. Let me do that over here at Trade Ideas because I have all of this cool stuff that I can look at. Firstly, S&P 500 sold off earlier in the week, bounce, put in this nice bottoming tail near the end of the week, looking very strong there. If we go to MDY, same kind of thing. We came into this prior high, we held it barely, and then we bounced. And IWM is the weakest of the bunch, so it still needs to get back anywhere near these highs before I'm interested. So a little bit weak on IWM. Some of the sectors I'm looking at under the hood. UNG. So full disclosure, I've been long this thing around the $15 area, just starting a position right here to see if another bounce takes place. I'm not going to say, hey, UNG is going to go up to 137. I think that's ridiculous. But again, just a lot of support around kind of $14.50, $15 area on UNG. So I'm just playing that, but we had a nice little bounce and again, a solid close on UNG right here. And you can see up here, and this is my ranking of sectors. We have oil is actually down the most with an ugly red candle in oil. And then we have natural gas up quite a bit. And then second on this list I want to take a look at is actually TAN. So you can see this level I have drawn here on solar. It's a prior high right here. That's about it. Just looking for a potential bottom in solar. Put in a kind of indecision candle last week and then bounced up this week. I did pick up some of this and some stocks around solar during the week, but a nice little bounce. Again, I'm not expecting solar to go all the way back up. You know, if you lose this picture-in-picture chart we have, I'm not thinking it's going back up to that 5-year high. But if we could get from 42 up to 60 or so on, or even if we wanted to retest the breakdown at 66, that's a great little trade. So I'll do that all day long. Let's take a look at URA. So uranium, nice little candle as we pull off this level. I've been talking about this level for ages, how I was buying in this zone right here. I'm looking to buy a little bit more on a breakout, not quite getting that, but a really strong week for uranium. I have one stock pick that I talked about with my buddy Steve on the podcast I'm going to talk about here as well. But again, these algorithms I run after the close, so I'll include those for now for free in my Substack, with that being a product that I'm going to offer going forward. So make sure you go to statsedgetrading.com, sign up for the free email list. Most of that email will always be free. My thoughts on the market and crypto and FX, I'm going to keep completely for free. And then the algorithmic, the watch list that is algorithmically defined will be that paid section down there. So we have URA looking clean. XME, which is our metals and miners ETF, has a nice bottoming tail, but you know, that still range bound gold, I think, may influence this. But we had a nice little breakout, pullback, nice 2 bottoming tails here in a row on metals and miners. So that's going to be definitely a sector I'm keeping my eye on next week. Last but not least is China. You can do FXI, you can do KWEB, you can do individual names. I talked about this a lot last week. I talked about it in Stats or on Trader TV the week before. Nice breakout here on this candle with 1.75 normal volume. It looks like the China trade is continuing. Again, not going to say this is going to get back and triple up to $100. But if we get a nice little breakout here, a couple of these sectors look interesting. So this is what I'm doing a lot of. Again, I'm trying to rotate into sectors that look strong, away from the sectors that have been running for incredibly long periods of time. So, all right, guys, thank you very much. A little bit shorter today. Again, those symbols will be on... Oh, 1 second. I forgot to... go back here. I promise you this one stock that Steve brought up to me. So this is SMR, and this is a new IPO with a 20% short float. So pretty gnarly short float there on SMR. And if I can get this to draw in correctly for me, maybe not. Anyway, for SMR, the anchored VWAP, you'll have to trust me, having a little problem. But the anchored VWAP from its IPO date looks something like this. And it's right overhead here. So I like the anchored VWAP from IPOs. I have a strategy for that. And the idea is that is telling you where the average market participant is in this name. The reason I bring this up when I talk about being long uranium is this is a startup company that makes little nuclear reactors that you can kind of put in different cities. And I like the idea behind that. It seems cool, but more importantly, it's a nice, strong looking chart, and it's holding that anchored VWAP, or getting close to, breaking that anchored VWAP from its IPO. So if uranium keeps moving, this thing could pump as well. Got to keep in mind it has earnings May 9th, so you have to be careful when it comes to that. So again, I'll say this again. If you're here still, go to statsedgetrading.com, sign up for the email list, like, comment, subscribe, retweet, wherever you're seeing this. Appreciate it very much, and have a good day.